How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Miss Marvel episode review and recap. Well, no, not a recap, just a review. Today's episode is episode 5, the penultimate episode, known as Time and Again. Now, I gotta tell you, I have no problem telling you time and time again. I need you guys to hit that like button, leave a comment, and as well, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. We're trying to get all the way up to 1,000 subscribers, and that 200 subscriber mark is just right in grasp. Oh boy, I didn't know how I was going to talk about this episode because this has to be, in terms of like resolutions and revelations and tying up story and tying up some loose ends, like this probably has to be my favorite episode. And I don't know if this episode would be as good if it wasn't for past episodes with flashbacks. Obviously spoilers, right? Because the flashbacks of Aisha finding the bangle with the other people for the newer dimension, the clandestines, or how whatever you want to call them, right? And this continued that. Remember last episode, Kamala went through time. She went through time. I was thinking, is it an illusion? And I said, and if I didn't say it, I'm kind of mad at myself. But I'm pretty sure I said last time that it would be interesting if she ran into her grandmother and she was the reason for the Trail of Stars. Because look at the way her powers work. It's hard. They call it hard light, and they kind of have a starry pattern, right? You know, her whole Captain Marvel motif that she loves. Vindication. Love being vindicated. You know, another thing that makes this series unique is that Thor Love and Thunder is week. Typically, the TV shows are done the week that a movie comes out, just so people can talk more about the movie. Um, excuse me. I don't know how they planned this, if this was on purpose. Who knows? I'm not complaining. Expect my Thor Love and Thunder review sometime Friday, because if I don't go to the movies tomorrow, I will certainly go early Friday, and I will have it for you Friday. But yes, um, such a good episode, emotionally wise, beat wise. I like when I'm watching my comic book stuff, and it feels just like a good show or good movie. Yeah. Sooner or later, the elements that make it, a property that is brought in that you got to make something out of, that's gonna show up. But this was really, really good. I had to write all my thoughts down on here. I got some notes here, but where do we start? We might as well start with um, the time travel thing, right? It was Aisha who brought um, Kamala there, and the inscription that's on the bangle, "What you seek shall find you," that is from a poem, a favorite poem of Hassan, her great grandfather. And Hassan is Muslim, but he was even preaching. By the way, I don't know the proper term for it. Back in the day, used to call it lame because he was walking with the crutch. He probably has polio. If I'm going to be quite honest, he probably has polio, and he's preaching, saying the sect, the Muslims, and the Hindis. The British are going to try to get all of us to fight against one another, and we need to rise up. And of course, you see the British soldiers coming through. They break up gatherings, which is something you kind of see nowadays too, with breaking up peaceful gatherings and such like that, right? But I digress. He met Aisha because she fell asleep in his rose garden. He sells roses, very beautiful roses. And we get the continuation of Aisha's story when she found the bangle. She killed one of the guards that was following her with a dagger, funny enough. That's probably where her tale comes from, is running through a dagger. So she is the catalyst of the red daggers being in Pakistan. She's the catalyst for so much of this. And I'm okay with the time travel because it is very Back to the Future. If you know anything about me, I'm going to assume that you don't. I love Back to the Future. It is in my top 5, top 10 favorite movies, top 5 greatest movies of the 80s, in my opinion. I don't care if you're talking about 1 or 2. I actually even like 3. But amazing movies. This was right out of Back to the Future 1, like on some Marty saved his parents type stuff. She's the reason why Kamala's there, and Kamala had to get her then young grandmother to her grandmother to her great grandfather. And of course we know what happened to Aisha. Aisha wasn't lost, Aisha was murdered by Neja. Neja said that had found her, wanted to know what the bangle was, and felt betrayed. And as Aisha kept trying to tell her it won't work, she didn't care, just stabbed her, which cemented as Nezra, whatever her name is, being just evil. Just straight up evil, right? And Kamala is an interesting character because she definitely has elements of Spider Man. And I am looking very much forward to seeing her interact with Peter. And I'll get there in a moment. But actually, I'll get there now because there's been videos making the rounds because of the Disney cruises. There's a video, Captain Marvel meeting with the new Captain America, calling him Cap, paying him respect, and then as she flies away, Ms.Marvel comes in. Kamala comes in and she talks about the Quasar bands, the Nega bands. She is me. She is us. She is fans. Not just the actress being a fan of the comic, but she's a fan of all of this stuff. And Sam doesn't understand what she's saying, right? But she's called an Avenger in that video, whether it's for marketing reasons, but they've already met. I'm hoping that her and Peter meet sooner or later. We already know that in the show, The Marvels, it's not Captain Marvel, it's The Marvels with Monica Rambeau, Kamala Khan, of course, Carol Danvers. I am now even more interested in that movie than I have been in a long time. Even though it really sucks that people have issues with Brie Larson, and that's why they kind of don't know if her movie would do well because people are going to try to review bomb it. But whatever, right? But Kamala helping her out and getting the picture. As Aisha died, she got the picture of Aisha, Hassan, and baby Sana. And remember, Sana couldn't remember what her mother looked like, but she painted her from memory. I do find it interesting that Sana didn't recognize Kamala from being the one that led her back to her father. Very interesting she didn't remember that, which I think that's a good thing she didn't remember that at all because it would have been like a little time paradox. This is definitely a time paradox, and I can appreciate how they did it. Now, the twist is they really can't come back. Because of Aisha bringing her back in time, she calls the rift, and the rift opened up the veil to the newer dimension. And you have the black clandestine lady. She's like, "We can go home." As soon as she touched that energy, everything that was squishy on her, meaning her skin, became encased in granite, became granite, crumbled off, and there was a skeleton, dust. And same thing happened to Najima after Kamala one got Red Dagger. I'm calling him Red Dagger because I don't remember his real name. Pardon me. Got Red Dagger to get the other people out there. She was shielding them from the energy, make sure they didn't die, and told her, "Hey, at least go get Kamran." Well, no, I can do it. I can get through. And she's like, "You got to help me close it. You saw what it can do, and don't abandon your son. You stop Aisha from being with her family. Don't stop him from being with his." And she's like, "Oh, I got a way I can help him." And she called out her son's name. This is what I think the power of that bangle unleashing, because that power would make your eyes go purple. Same thing with Aisha. She called out Kamran's name and sent that energy to him via their emotional connection. She still turned into the dust and the bones, and I'm actually very surprised that a Marvel show showed someone being stripped of their skin and internal organs and their bones showing it turned to dust. That's all right. I see you. I see you. Kamran is definitely from the comics. Now, his mother and father, his mother is someone very different, but he was part of this evil band called the Lineage. He was Kamala's boyfriend, but quickly she, he tried to kidnap her and have her join the group, and then tried to kidnap her older brother to get him to join, thinking that he would have some latent inhuman abilities. And I can't wait to talk about this inhuman part. But yeah, this is out of the comics. So eventually he's going to start glowing blue because now he has the same powers as Kamala has almost, especially when he ran into Bruno because he needed help. He didn't know where else to go, and he honestly thought Bruno's real name was Brian the entire time. I appreciate that he is a genuinely good person in this show. I have a feeling that his abilities and him being on the run from the Department of Damage Control is going to turn him. And he didn't want to give up on his mother. Bruno's parents apparently abandoned him, but he didn't. That's how he shared. He shared that with Kamran, and Kamran believes his mother will come back, which she ain't coming back, bro. She does. She's dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. So that is him. He's gonna be bad. Seems like he's kind of like a minor villain from 2015, but who knows? Maybe he'll be a continuous thing. Damage control gets him. I'm predicting that damage control is going to try to get Kamala, and that's when we're going to get a Captain Marvel cameo. Go, she's with me. Don't mess with her. And they're going to be like, well, such and such accords, and it's like shoots your drones, which the drones that they confiscated that Tony Stark had when they took all that stuff from Peter, the stuff they took from Happy, right? Wow, they're using the hell out of those drones. Anywho, let's talk about one of the most important parts. Mooney, Kamal's mother, no, she believes now in the stories that her mother told her about them having abilities because she saw the light, she saw the flash, she saw the abilities that Kamala had. Because Kamala even used her, heart light abilities to get up to Red Dagger and to talk to him and to say goodbye. He gave her the red sash. He has to go tell the others of what happened, and I really want to see him again. I remember my last video I said Brown Avengers. I kind of want them in Red Scarab and Moon Knight and some. Come on, man, it's right there. I don't care if you have to call them Defenders. Steal that stuff and call them Defenders or Champions. Kamala is a champion along with Richard Rider and Miles Morales, Peter Parker. It just occurred to me that those were the founding three of the new champions because of the whole backlash with them breaking up with the Avengers and all of that. Those were the first three members, and they got old new Cyclops, Vision's daughter, Ironheart. There's probably going to be a champions show coming up soon, but again, you have the Black Spider-Man, the Latin X Richard, not Richard Rider, Latin X Sam Alexander Nova, and you have the Pakistani Kamala Khan. It's kind of cool that they made a book with three brown people being the leads. I enjoy that. Anyway, so now everything's out in the open. I enjoy the fact that we got to see pictures of Mooney when she was Kamala's age, when she ran away to go see Bon Jovi. She thought she ran away to go see Bruce Springsteen. So turns out that Sana, she might have had a thing for the old, the boss, the Bruce, the boss. Hey, it makes sense, right? But Kamala never knew about these adventures because she never asked. And we finally get some reconciliation where her mother says, I'm not ready to let go of you yet because despite all the adventures I've had, the best thing I'm experiencing is being your mother. And they all hug it out, and even Sana says, "You know what? I wasn't there for you like I should have been." And they reconcile. I really do hope her mother, moves to Jersey with them. I really do. I really hope Grandmom does. And this was good. You get to see that the women in their family. I don't really know what their last names would be because we don't really get a last name, but because it's not Khan, right? It's not Khan, but it's nice to see that those women are rebellious and they're their own people. They don't let society dictate who they are, whom they should be, right? And I like that that's a trait in each of them, which is very interesting because when you find out in past episodes, oh yeah, your mom had a rebellious streak too, and it's like, huh, okay, hmm, there's a pattern going on here. But it's great that all this is out in the open. I, for one, am a fan where either friends or at least one or two family members know that the hero is the hero. Now, Marvel's supposed to be Marvel needs to have more characters have secret identities, especially with damage control being a-holes. You need to have more people be have secret identities like the Spider Man. But I appreciate it when it's like, oh, okay, mom knows. Okay, best friend knows, even though best friend's mad at me, whatever. And guy best friend, who's technically a love interest because in some alternate realities they become married and have a child together. That's good. That's three people, including grandma, which no one's gonna believe anyway. It's good. It's great. I love that because now when she has to go and do her thing, she can do her thing. And especially, I love the fact that Mooney even goes, so you're the light bright girl. And he's like, yeah. She found Kamala's broken necklace, which has the thunderbolt on it. That's how she gets her symbol. Um, Two funny moments, genuinely funny moments, is when Kamala's cousin said, she's calling Kamala because Kamala has not come back home. Her cousin's already home, and while the grandmother's trying to cover her, trying to be like, "Hey, don't worry about it," her cousin say, "You realize if she's on your family plan, just use your app's ability to say, 'Where's my phone?'" She's like, "So it's like spyware for parents? Why didn't I know about this before?" Funny. And then great grandmother threatened to break the leg of Hassan. And it's funny because then she notices, I mean, I don't really use it. He says, I don't really use it much anyway, so be my guest. The fact that a love uh, came from their meeting. He knew she was running for something and didn't really care. And I appreciate that towards the end, before she died, you know, he was asking, "What are we really running from?" Because it's not us trying to get on this train. What's going on? Who's the lady? And she does the thing with the bangle, and apparently he saw everything. He's like, "Why are you showing me now?" Because you need to know now, and that is a good type of love that you don't see a lot of in real life, and you don't see a lot of in comics, where it's like, "Hey, didn't really care what you were running from, really didn't care about your backstory, but if something is going on with you, you need to tell me. I don't care about." Yeah, she murdered a couple people. She murdered that guy. I'm pretty sure he wasn't the first one, and no one really cares about her murdering a British soldier guy. No one really cares. So tell me what's going on, and I like that. I like that the bonds of trust have formed, are forming, or have formed, or there in this particular episode is very much refreshing. um, Now, apparently, yeah, there are other Red Daggers, so that's Red Dagger Friends was actually correct, so that's good. He's probably going to be the leader, and I hope he ends up there. I hope he ends up leading them, and hope he shows up in the future because he says, "If you ever need me, just call me." We need to see Red Dagger again. Anywho, let's talk about this Inhuman and the powers and the stuff, right? So the Inhuman show flopped. Although Kevin Feige is a very nice dude and got the guy that played Black Bolt to play Black Bolt again. Spoiler if you haven't seen Multiverse of Madness, in Multiverse of Madness, right? So he's willing to give actors another shot because not your fault the thing you were in sucked, right? And that the 3D was bad, and the only really good parts were Medusa and Lockjaw, which they're always the best part of the Inhumans, along with Crystal. But it would have been very hard to tell this same story and have these same emotional beats if it was just, oh, Terrigen Mist, she has powers. They're descendant of Inhumans, like in the comics. I appreciate that her powers are a thing that is in her blood but was unlocked via the bangle. But I appreciate that there's history with that. I appreciate that she's not just trying to learn how to use it. She's learning where they come from, and then understanding that she can train and being in going back to homeland, going back to Karachi, finding sorry, being seeked out by the Red Daggers and the former leader Waleed. I will never forget his name because I liked him. I wish he hadn't died. Um, Being trained and taught, hey, it comes from within. You need to be able to focus and everything because you are from here. You can use these abilities. She probably wouldn't have died if she touched that veil. I have a feeling she wouldn't have. And I got a feeling that Najima's goal is gonna encroach into Kamran's mind. There's no way it's not. His, he still loves his mom regardless of her abandoning him. That's probably what's gonna happen. But the one thing I will still complain about, I wish she still would have had the ability of just her arms stretch. Um, she is a shapeshifter. That's her. Technically, that is her main ability. You take Doctor Fantastic, Mister Fantastic. You take Ant Man. You smoosh them together. I can stretch. I can grow. I can change my form. She can turn to inanimate objects. Inanimate objects. She can do a lot of stuff. I wish they would have kept those that power set, but give it a little shimmer while she's doing it. Her power's activating. It's a shimmer. It doesn't have to be crystalline because I'm kind of over crystalline abilities, but still have it been unlocked by this bangle, and still have it be tied into her family history. That is something I wish would have still happened, but you wouldn't have gotten the trail of stars if she didn't have this. So this is where I go. I'm 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 okay with this. I am okay with this. This is something nice and unique. And even though she's going to be in the second Captain Marvel movie, I sincerely hope she does get a season 2. And I this needs to be one of the shows. Cool, everybody loves Loki. Yay, whatever. Tom Hiddleston, good job, buddy. Owen Wilson, yeah, Owen Wilson for sure. But Kamala Khan, her story, I'm glad this wasn't a movie. Even though this episode was only 34 minutes, I definitely looked when those credits came on. I think she needs a second season. Her and Moon Knight, those are some good stories that you can tell over 6 to 8 episodes. Please do it, Mr. Kevin Feige. I am begging you. All that being said, with everything I have brought out here, this is definitely 5 out of 5. I appreciate how nice and emotional this is. Going back to 1942, showing that there are other ways to time travel outside of magic, even though this is technically magic, but this seems like other dimensional abilities on top of magic, kinda, maybe. Outside of quantum mania stuff, interested in that movie coming out because King the Conqueror, right? Excuse me, Mr. Jonathan Majors. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, 5 out of 5 for sure. I'm hoping that next week's finale is just as good. I can't wait to see the costume. It's gonna have to at least be 50 minutes. I wish it could just be a solid hour. Cause does that mean Bruno's been working on the suit the whole time she's been gone? Cause if so, you need to date that boy. He's a good boy. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below. Please do not forget to give me a thumbs up. It helps with engagement. Hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribed here. And regardless if you are or aren't, don't forget to hit the notification bell. Be notified of more videos just like this one. As always, thank you for taking some time out to spend some time with me. Be good, be blessed. Wash your hands. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Either way it goes. Please don't be a jerk. You're not alone. I can promise you that. And you know what? I'm going to see you guys next time.